where equality is just another euphemism for mediocrity, where participation is more highly valued than achievement, where just enough to get by is the new standard of excellence. There is a small minority of people who fight back against such apathy, who struggle daily to reach new heights. These brave few are the hope for the future, the bright shining light for the next generation. They are the ones who will lead us to the places we have never dreamed of, to the undiscovered country, to reach goals only a few can even begin to imagine. Unfortunately, none of those people could be here tonight, so kick back and relax. Prepare yourself for several hours of fun, friendship, fascinating conversation, and fabulous music. All those F's, that's an alliteration and kind of a radio trick. Speaking of radio, you're listening to the most popular radio station in the history of broadcast radio, at least among stations that originate from Chris's living room.
It's Curious Times.
It's Curious Times. Your host is Curious Listener. Here she is, Chris.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Curious Times. It's November 4th. Oh, my God. How can it be November the 4th? How in the heck can it be November the 4th? It just is crazy, the speed at which time is traveling these days. So maybe because I'm moving slower, it seems like time is moving faster because I'm moving slower. Maybe I'm onto something there. That's why it seems to go by so fast to old people, is because we're moving slower. And now I have a broken pencil problem here, of course. Oh well, who needs to write anyway? Okay, we have Hillary here tonight. Obviously, everybody that's assembled in the chat room can see that with their very own eyes. And that means she's not on the highway or parked at the side of the road in the dark to do the show, which is good and safe. She's in the safe confines of her or somebody's home anyway. Just looking forward to what's coming up here. Diana Monroe is here tomorrow. Lisa Nolan Shalosky is here Tuesday, Wednesday. Barbara DeLong Thursday. We're off Friday. Salva Dutton. And then we got pretty much a full week next week, except for the Thursday as well. So lots coming up. As long as everybody stays healthy and all that kind of stuff, we'll be good to go. Hillary, for anybody that is unfamiliar with Hillary Black, just ask Hillary. Not just ask Hillary. It's just ask Hillary. It's not just ask Hillary. It's just ask Hillary. It's only ask Hillary. Ask Hillary. Okay. So you can find her just by Googling that, really. But Hillary is many things. She's a psychic, a medium. She also is a healer and teacher and coach and empath and the whole 9 yards, you know. But I think that what I feel like that all of my guests seem to like have one thing that stands out to me for them, you know what I mean? And so Hillary, of course, is the pendulum user and the pendulum seer or something like that. Whatever, we'll have to figure out how best to phrase that. But anyway, Hillary uses the pendulum with extreme proficiency, let's say that. And unlike I don't know very many people that really use the pendulum at all. In any case, you can check out Hillary's website to find out about all the things that she does. And you can go to www.askhillaryblack.com. See, it's just Ask Hillary Black. It's just Ask Hillary Black. Okay. Anyway, AskHillaryBlack.com, and on Facebook, Ask Hillary Black. And if you can't remember all of that, just Google Ask Hillary, or just Google Hillary Black, or just Google Ask H, and then maybe it'll come up. But anyway, Ask Hillary Black. AskHillaryBlack.com. So, with all of that said, it's been a while since we saw her on our very own screen. Since last time she was in parked by the ocean at dusk, with a beautiful lights dancing off the water as she sat in her car in the dark and watched and listened and did the show for us. So She's in her home. Let's go get her. It's Hillary Black. Hello, Hillary.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Oh, it's way winter here, so I'm just cranky as all get out.
Well, it's going to be a beautiful Thanksgiving and a white wonderland for Christmas.
Oh, I couldn't have put it better, that's for sure. Couldn't have put it worse, but I couldn't have put it better either. Yeah, no, like we've had snow since like middle, like we got a good snow in September already, in middle of September, and then we had snow like throughout September. And it's been cold enough for the furnace to be on most days since September middle. And so that is what sucks so bad. But anyway, we got a new fresh coating of snow last night again, and so I'm all up to I'm already like way past like didn't fall just end.
It did, I think.
Yeah. He's supposed to just end. All of a sudden I'm hearing me back now. And nothing changed, right? Nothing changed.
Nothing changed.
Wait. I have two anonymouses unmuted now. Maybe let's try that.
Oh.
Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good. So somebody, maybe that was it. I might have been hearing me through them or something. Okay. That was Corinne. Hi, Corinne. So when last we met, it was you were by the ocean there, like I said. What's been going on since, and what are you doing to get ready for your crazy holiday season?
So I live in California, and I'm going to be driving, which I haven't done this in a long time, cross country to Colorado.
Wow, hey.
Yeah, when I was young, I used to, drive back and forth cross country quite a bit. But, and what is it, road warrior? So at this different age that I am now, thinking about going cross country is a little different. But I have some things to bring to the kids, and so all their childhood stuff, and we're going to be making,
nice.
all the school stuff I still have, and we'll be making scrapbooks and things that they want to keep, all that stuff.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
And then they'll get a book, and I'll get a book, and then what they don't want, oh, hi, thank you. What they don't want, then we'll eventually let go, because I've held on to it for a very long time.
Yeah, no, you know what? That's great, and what a great idea that you had to just say, let's just take this bull by the horns and get it done. And it's a nice family thing to do anyway, and especially around the holiday season to, to sort of reminisce with all of that, and then you get to be done. Like once you load up your car, that's it, right? All their stuff.
Well, yeah, they actually live together. My son's going to be 23, and he's finishing college. He has a year and a half left, and my daughter's going to be 25, and she graduated, and she wants to go back to get her master's in social work. So she works with kids in juvenile jails, I guess, and it's a diversion program. So if they, she just kind of does case coordination and helps them kind of, I guess, in rehabilitation, so that they don't have to go back, to that situation, so to speak, or they learn, I guess, and so they don't have to have that punitive consequence, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I think it's a life-changing experience. If it.
Well, and for the kids that are meant, and I love that whenever those kind of things can work, and I always would say, when I was working with the Aboriginal people in post-secondary training or training to employment programs that we would take out to the reserves for them, at first I was getting frustrated because they were, of course, being sponsored through government dollars, and it seemed to me that a good number of them were, just using the system to get into these school programs, and then they don't even hardly attend, or they attend just as much as they need to stay in. They collect their subsistence checks, you know what I mean? So they're basically being paid, financially supported, and having the program paid for them. And then then I'm like, oh, and then then the next time a program comes around, they're jumping on that, and I was so frustrated. But then I started to look at it like, if we take a class of 12 and even two people go on and make a meaningful change in their life, which is to
Right.
say that they're getting good paying work and work that they can build upon, education they can build upon, but the compounding effect of that, because they've got these are adult learners in many cases. We already have a bunch of kids running around in the house, and so then they start to notice, that they're getting nicer stuff. Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe some nicer running shoes or whatever. And the pride that starts to develop as a result of this, huge significant change in their life. And so I think that it reaches far into the family, as well, as a good example for those coming up behind, right? And so I always used to say, like, even if just two make it through, and I guess that's the way I think about the juvenile offenders and whatnot, is that even the program's worth running, even if a small percentage succeed and get on the right track.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely. I mean, what a difference, especially at that age, where people at our age, right? We look back at
Yeah.
our lives and said, if we only
Mm-hmm.
had someone there to help us, or if we had, and maybe someone was there, but we weren't ready to hear it, but that sort
Yeah.
of thing. And,
Yeah.
the consequences that some of these people possibly are incredibly punitive, but
Yeah.
for whatever the offense is, it could be punitive, and it's a huge difference between jail and freedom,
Of
you know,
course.
and certainly a big difference. Like you
Yeah.
said, that the rippling effect. Not only
Mhm.
does it affect them, but it affects others in their lives, and then as they
Right.
move forward, they have a chance
Yeah.
to have a good quality life, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of having a life of repeat offenses.
Right. Well, which is the nowhere, and which potentially leads to, a long time in prison or death or some other such, or both, or whatever, right? And so,
Right.
um, plus plus I always looked at it then. My first primary thing was like the social aspect of it, but then you look one step further and you go, here were people that in many cases were living off of government money,
Uh huh.
right? Now they're not receiving that money, yet they're earning money and now paying taxes,
Right.
right? So that's a huge, turnaround and benefit to society, and to also then the neighboring community, to, you know what I mean, to, and the
Right.
same would go for any of these, because if these young offenders can get rehabilitated and come out, then their community is a little safer than it otherwise might have been, right?
Exactly.
Uh,
Exactly.
and and that has far-reaching effects as well. So, because if you can just imagine, right? Let's say the kid, goes and does a B&E, and it's in the middle of a night, and it freaks out some, woman that's, and now she's going to suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder for the rest of her life, and blah 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 blah. Like how, you know, one action like a crime also can then have an ongoing and compounding effect to the negative on whoever their victim, and then their victim's circle of people, right? And
Right.
so way better, anytime anyone talks about wasting money on these kind of government programs like that, I don't call a waste. If one life gets saved and turned around, you know what I mean? The
Yeah.
benefit is immeasurable. You can't calculate a dollar, but then even a bigger benefit is a non-financial one, that results from it. So I'm all on board. That's good for her. It's not easy work, though, I'm sure.
It's not. No, not at all. So
Emotionally, you know what
it's
I mean?
emotional.
Emotionally.
Yeah, and that's one of the things about. I mean, even though it's ritually rewarding, it's draining at the same time.
Yeah.
And so it's really important that we fill our cup, because as
Hmm.
I tell people, your water wheel goes out, so to speak, and you're giving water, which is the emotions and the energy that you're giving. But if you don't find some things in your life that fills your cups and gives you joys and happiness, not that she doesn't love her job, she absolutely does. But as you said, it's there's a lot of stress that can be involved in that, and it can be emotionally draining. So it's important for us to have a balance in our life where,
Yes.
if exercise is not necessarily the fact that we have to lose weight, or, some people, we want to be healthy, but it's just whatever it is. If we enjoy going to yoga with friends, or we enjoy going to the gym with our friends, or going for a walk just to connect to nature, that's really important. Just going out with friends, even having some me time and reading a book, right? Just sitting and having some me time, doing meditation in the morning. I always say do meditation and connect to your inner child, your little girl, little boy. I call your subconscious mind your little boy, little girl. It's really important to have a connection with self. Because, let's think about this. I mean, how well did we know ourselves as teenagers? Seriously.
Right. Yeah.
I can tell you I didn't know myself that well. I can tell you that I thought I knew myself very well. But let's think about it. When you're 6 years old, you don't tell a 6-year-old what you're going to tell a 10-year-old, what you're going to tell a 15-year-old, what you're going to tell a 20-year-old about certain subjects. That's why we have kindergarten all the way through college. And we layer it, right? We layer the information that we're giving people, because you can only give them so much information. But we've talked about this before, the Don Ruiz book about the 4 agreements, and about society and government and religion and, our families and friends, and how everyone expects us to be. But it really is who do we want to be?
Right.
And, people talk about nature and nurture. Certain things, we're just, I don't know, we're just born that way. And I do believe in that. But the other thing is that we also have free will, and we also have a choice to be who we want to be. And then part of
that's part of the challenge too for the younger ones sometimes, is that there's overwhelming pressure from their parents for what they'll be going to do or what they'll be, you know what I mean? And
I agree completely.
So
absolutely.
And when you're younger, you're usually, unless you're very angry at that time about other things, right, in the family, right, then you're going to generally succumb to that pressure, whatever that is.
Well, absolutely, because a lot of us want to people please. Not everyone has the same programming or the same patterns or the same concerns or issues, right? But, there's some people, want to people please, and they're like, oh, well, I respect my parents. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't respect our parents. We should listen to what they have to say. We should listen to what our elders have to say. But the important thing is that we listen to ourselves and to our own intuition to say, hey, is that right for me? And that's not an easy thing to do. It takes time, no matter how old you are. I'm 51, and I still have to, even though when I'm in reading space, I'm pretty good. No one's 100%. I'll never say that I'm 100%. Only God is 100%. But I'm pretty good in a sense of in my readings and coaching, that sort of thing. But the point of the being is that I have my own people that I work with. I have my own psychics that I see, my own coaches that I see. I have my own teachers, my own people, my own mentors, because listening to my own intuition outside of that reading space is I'm attached to the outcome. Yeah. And I have my own stuff like everybody else has, right?
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's working through that. So listening to your intuition, you have your fears, you have your wishes, you have your desires, and you're like, is this intuition? Is this not intuition? Is this what I really want? Is this really, what Spirit's telling me? Because we have to listen to the signs and the symbols. When we pray and ask God for something, are we aware and present and in the moment? Because a lot of us will jump out of our body and we're on autopilot, and then we're like, what happened the last year? I don't remember the last year. I don't remember a thing. Whereas you have other people who can tell you exactly what happened on this date, that time, because they were present and in their body. Yeah. So going back to teenagers, I can certainly tell you that I did not, as I've said before, in second grade, I wanted to be a nurse. Never did I say, let me be a professional psychic. Yeah. And it's my whole family's educated, college educated. So, I have some family members that won't even I found them on LinkedIn, or I found them on other things. I'm not real big on social media, as you guys know, but they wouldn't even say hello or put me on their LinkedIn because I'm a psychic and I'm their family. I'm like, really? Okay. Yeah. So can you imagine that as a teenager?
Yeah, it's
wanting to
yeah.
to
Oh,
say this is who I am,
well, there's,
kind of
you know,
thing.
I have a friend, right? I mean, and the ones that are older, the ones that are a little bit older than us,
Yeah.
um, like a half a generation older even,
Mhm.
they want, you know, and if those were kids that were talking about being psychic, then they were like put into psychiatric care, you
Yeah.
know, and it
Absolutely.
became a big fight, and the tragedy of that is just crazy too. But um, we've at least come further with society. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? We've come further with that understanding, but there's still a lot of people that I think are doing too many things to please others. You know what I mean? And we should try to spend some time to find like what can I do that pleases. You know what I mean? Like that's that accommodates whoever's out there having expectations of me versus what also I need. Those competing interests. You know, and um, but too many I think in our kind of community, people like us
Mhm.
uh, are probably the worst at being people pleasers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the empathy that we feel or what it is that there's a overwhelming service mentality. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like I'm here to be of service to people in this
Yeah.
in this lifetime. That's my purpose.
Right.
So it makes it a little bit harder to say no and to like I used to always feel too like I had to if I was going to say no, like well I had to have a good reason for why it was no.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
I don't and then I was like I think I got to be my 40s or something. I'm all like wait a minute. I don't really owe anybody a why, right?
Right. Right.
Like I can just say sorry I can't or I won't, like whatever the case is. And not and full stop, right? And then
Mhm.
even if people ask you, well, why, I just can't. You know what I mean? And instead of having to say, go on this big well, because I have this and that and this and the other thing and other blah blah, or I don't have this and I can't get there and I can't, whatever their thing. Why do you owe anyone a reason why? Why do you owe a reason? And so it took me a long time to realize that I didn't. But I still have a hard time saying no.
I understand that.
Yeah. So sometimes like it's good for us to talk about these things because in a way it's also a little reminder to our own damn selves, right?
Exactly.
That in other words, sometimes the advice that we give others is actually advice we need.
Well, it's true. It's true. I tell people not only are you my students, but you're my teachers.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm helping you guys. You're absolutely helping me. I mean, sometimes I'd be, praying to God that day and asking for an answer, and I'm not getting it. And then all of a sudden, I'm talking to a client, and they're asking me something, and I'm channeling the information from them, and I'm like, oh my God, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I was asking about today.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, their answer just like flies right through, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, kind of thing. And so it's kind of interesting how it's answered sometimes, or
Yeah.
certainly, you're going through talking to someone in a session and they're like, "Wow, look at that." You have the aha moment for them, but you're starting to see something that you may have not seen before as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So how long are you going to be gone over like? Are you going to be gone over the? Are you going to do like from Thanksgiving all the way through, or what?
Well, yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do because the kids have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off, which is kind of rare for them to
Uh
have
huh.
4 days off. I know for sure they have Thursday, Friday, and we used to do this Black Friday thing. I don't know if you guys do that in Canada, but do you do Black
Well, I
Friday
mean, we
or
have a little baby.
Brown Thursday, Black
Yeah.
Friday, whatever they call it? I don't know what they call it there.
No, like yes and no. Yeah, but I mean, it's not the craziness that it is there. Because you have to keep in mind, like our Thanksgiving has come and gone in October. You know what I mean? And
Oh, I
like
didn't realize
so,
that. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
like we do Thanksgiving. That's to celebrate the harvest. You know what I mean?
Right.
you guys are up to your knees in snow already with just 2 weeks before Christmas, and you're like having Thanksgiving or something like that. As if enough
Yeah,
one
it's like what is it? 4 weeks from Thanksgiving
Yeah,
for
it's
Christmas. Yeah,
very close. It's very
it
close.
it is. So what it is that we used to have every year in Colorado. I would get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I would do my recon, and look at my Black Friday advertisements,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
look at
yeah.
all of them the night before, and I have the Christmas list from the kids, and I would
Map
go
it
and
all.
yeah, I would totally map it out. All the places I would I don't know, sometimes 5 stores, I go to 8 stores or however much I would go to. And, I'd have strategically which store I was going to go first and what I was going to buy. And like you said, and I'd figure out when I was going to have my breaks and when I was going to have my lunch.
Yeah,
And then I would come home and
crazy.
take a nap at 2 because I'm like
Wow.
up at 4. I mean, there's some people I won't do staying in line all night. That I won't do.
Yeah.
But kind of thing. And so my daughter has informed me she wants to go do Black Friday shopping. I'm like, really?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. And so she's like, yes. And I'm like, we're doing a white elephant gift this year. We're only going to exchange presents for one person and we're going to pull names.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, you really still want to do Black Friday? We don't have to do that this year. She goes, nope, we're doing it. I said, okay. So that's what we're going to be
Oh my
doing.
God.
So
Too bad that you're not like. Do you have anyone in the family that's a hockey player? It'd be hilarious if you got up early in the morning and then had on elbow pads and a helmet and, your knee pads and shin pads and the whole and then the big shoulder pads. You know what I mean? And then hulk up and go. Okay, I'm ready for Friday.
Yeah,
Whatever.
that's pretty much what it would be like for sure. It's just trying to get in the car, but that would be yeah.
Tell her you still want me to come with you, and she'll go. You know what? Stay home.
Yeah, that is good. That would be the way to get out of it. I didn't even think about that. I mean, I do. I love enjoying time. I mean, spending time with her, but she's younger now. She's got that energy to go shopping like I did for I don't know 5-10 hours, because that's a lot of energy. And now I'm like,
well, and,
I'm not I like material things. It's not that I don't, but I'm like,
yeah.
Then you get the Cyber Mondays, right? So when I figured out you could do Cyber Mondays,
yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I don't have to get in the car and run to one store and go to another store and go to another store and
exactly.
all the lines and how much energy it just takes. All I have to do is get on the internet and just click, buy everything. I'm like, oh, that's so easy.
Yeah, exactly right. And that's what I'm saying is we don't have to do that no more. But what bothers me the most about this kind of near the Christmas shopping, it wounded my heart often because people are animals. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, this is the season of peace and harmony and going an extra mile for the people around you, the strangers, doing, it's to be extra nice during this period of time, and people get their bitch on huge, and I can't watch it. I can't watch it.
So what happens is that during the holidays, I think that people are triggered a little bit more than usual because what happens is and I can't speak for everyone, this is a generalization, but certainly, when we have certain situations happen in our life in the past, sometimes when we're not addressing the emotion or the feeling and we're not dealing with it in the moment, what do? We throw it under the rug, right? We bury it. And so all of a sudden something may trigger it. We're watching TV and It's a Wonderful Life or whatever TV show or Christmas show you're watching or certain show, or you go out and a certain situation happens where you see, I don't know, a family going out for Christmas and you didn't get to spend much time with your family at Christmas time, or it reminds you of something that you didn't get, or, a painful memory or something happens like that, and all of a sudden we're triggered. And then all of a sudden their bitch gets on, basically. And then people are in their not nice mood, so to speak, and they just get triggered.
And then everybody else gets cranky because of that, and it just turns into an ugliness. You know what I mean?
Right.
It bugs me. It bugs me.
So we have a choice to either, look at the situation and look where, a lot of people, and I'm included. I mean, looking at the past, it's difficult sometimes to look at it because we're like, it's in the past, leave it there. But at the
Right.
same time, if we want to change it, we have to look at it. We have to look at
Yeah.
it, and then we have
Yeah.
to, look at what the reality of the situation is, right?
Yeah.
And then identify what it is, acknowledge it, own it, and then we can make that shift.
Yeah. It's like pull the Band-Aid off. Like it's the what you want to try to avoid is like bringing it out and peeking at it and stuffing it right back away, and then doing that over and never like getting rid of it. You know what I mean?
Right,
Never like
right.
properly deal with it. But I mean, yeah, you're right. And this is a sad time of year for some people, and the sad people, that's hard enough. But what gets my blood boiling and whatnot is like just the rude people, elbowing, pushing, cursing, swearing, name calling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
And like though that is, it's a different compartment for me, but none of it is fun. None of it is in the spirit of, I remember like years ago, I would love to go out and I'm doing shopping, and as I'm like picking out for whoever I'm picking out for, is like I'm spending time thinking about any time I've spent with that person this year and what kind of thing, I'm putting some thought into what should I get them, and enjoying that time of season in that way. And that's the way I wish more people could shop. You know what I mean? If
Well,
they were going to
yeah, no.
go out
Well,
and shop in person.
I agree, and I think it's all about reframing where you're at, because we have a choice to look at the negative, or we have a choice to look at the positive. Now, I'm not saying for us to ignore the negative, because we have to acknowledge that it's there. We have to see it,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we're crying out loud. If the house is burning, we can sit there and say, you're sitting there and you're praying, my house is going to be saved, my house is going to be saved.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. You can still pray your house is going to be saved and have positive thoughts, but get out of
Pray
the
from
house.
outside.
Yeah,
pray from outside, yeah.
in a safe distance, and make sure that, so that hopefully when the fire truck comes, that they can come and save your house before it burns all the way down. But the thing is that at the same time, we can reframe situations. We can't change anyone but ourselves. So even though, yes, there are people out there who are rude and are mean, and we can say, hey, that's not okay for you to speak to me that way. We can't change them, but that's a part of us, because we want to people please. That's part of us saying the boundaries, right? Because if we have a hard time saying no, then where do we stand up for someone when they're saying, no, you can't talk to me like that, or no, that's not appropriate. I don't know what happened. And we can get pissy too. We can say, I'm sorry, I don't know who,
yeah.
the saying here in the States, I really shouldn't say it because it's rude.
Who shit in your Cheerios or whatever?
Pretty much. You read my mind. There you go.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. We can get sassy right back at them, right?
Yeah.
But that is just, two wrongs don't make a right. Yeah. So it is kind of saying where are your negotiables, and what kind of treatment are you willing to accept and not accept?
Yeah.
And where are you okay to let it roll off your back? And then where is it a point you say, no, I don't think so? Kind of thing. And sometimes we say, no, I don't think so, and overreact. And sometimes we don't take action when we should, or set our boundaries. Not necessarily take action, but in a sense set our boundaries within ourselves and to that other person, and say, no, you can go yell at someone else, but you're not yelling at me today. I'm here picking up my socks. You go take your anger somewhere else. Because it's
exactly.
I'm not your punching bag. I don't know what happened today before you got here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I'm not the one that did it to you.
Yeah.
Sorry you had a bad day, but don't make mine bad too.
That's right. They have a saying when I was a secretary, and I used to see it on people's desks, and they'd say, your emergency doesn't constitute, my
poor planning on your part does not constitute an emergency on my part.
There you go. That's it. That was the saying.
Yeah.
Universal, isn't it? That everyone knows that. Quite a few people know the saying. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it is. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, so it is kind of how we reframe things, because one of the things I was talking to people, because I've learned this new method that I just did, I actually I've got to take the test soon for the certification, and I'm going to be facilitating the class in February. And it's called 7 Steps to Reprogramming Yourself, and it is about clearing and getting the negative thought patterns out and putting in the positive thought patterns. So, needless to say, when we get the negative thought patterns out, we put a cancellation in there, kind of like a knot, kind of thing. And what happens is we say those statements. We can, as we get those knots out, we put the positive statement. It's a flip. It's a reframe on what that negative statement was, or that negative. So let's say we're frustrated about, I don't know, we're frustrated that we're rejected all the time. And then we realize it's a brother that rejected us, or a mother that rejected us, or whoever it may be. And then you say, I feel alone. And so then you put a cancellation, I'm not alone. Now people would say, well, that's kind of like, why would you say that? Well, because you're canceling the negative thought, and then when you put a positive thought, you're not saying I'm not alone. You'll say, I have many people in my life that love me.
Yeah.
So it's a reframe.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Well, even, I mean, this is a writing. This covers writing in many types of writing, business writing, all kind of, personal writing, writing about
everywhere.
Like, even if you have to make a negative statement, you want to use positive words. So I am unable to do that instead of I can't do that, or I won't. I am unable to do that. I am unable to do that instead of I can't do that. Right?
Yeah.
I am unable to do that. And so, and that's too. It's hard to write some affirmations for that reason, because a lot of times people are trying to write affirmations to quit a bad habit or do, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so it's a negative thing that they're trying to correct through the affirmation, right? And so they're still bringing like, I won't do this anymore, right? Instead of saying like, I won't smoke anymore. I will continue to move forward in my life without smoking.
Exactly.
Right?
That's the reframe. That's right.
And so it's all a question of how. And, like I used to kind of scoff at that, and sometimes I still do. Like, you can't just like put all. It's not so magic that if you find the right magic words, then it will work. You get so many people that say, well, you're not doing it right or whatever, right? You didn't do it right. Whereas I always feel and say and believe that what's true intent in my heart is what the universe knows of me.
Well, that's right? What the universe brings to you. It's your feelings and your body, because whatever you feel, because here's the thing, and the power of the subconscious mind, which I reference quite a bit, it's by Joseph Murphy. Now, I didn't realize the copy that I actually have right here, right? Mm-hmm. They don't sell anymore. They have different covers. And so when I talk to the people that I work with and I have them get this book and such, I'm like, okay, let's go to page whatever, and I realize we're not on the same page, so I'm going to have to get one book that we all are getting. But here on page 56, which we've talked about before, the thing is that if you do not believe and have the feeling, right, then you're going to get, if your mind says one thing but your body says another, the universe is going to give you what your body feels, not what your mind says. And that's basically what you said. The universe knows you. So even though your words say one thing, and words are important, because our words kind of...
for me, words, that's what reprograms our brain, okay? Yeah. And there's some relief that can come as a result of that to the person, It's far better, believe me, because people, they get to the point where after 40 years of having the negative self repeating over and over, looping, through their brain, and they've just become so used to these self-limiting and self-defeating programmed statements that are running free in their mind as a result of their whole past. And they don't even realize. So if we can undo just that, I feel that if we can undo that in them, I'm not even talking about putting an affirmation or a prayer or a request or not even, is just as a human being, the benefit that can come to you mental health wise, and health wise, right? From
Right.
just being able to stop that damn tape recorder from going over and over and over, which is all these negative things running through your head all the time about you, usually. And so that the relief that can come from undoing that is huge, in which case properly wording affirmations and having people repeat these affirmations over and over and over does become important. For those reasons, it's really important to get that, because it's a very scientific thing of our brain and how it works, and it's been proven,
Right.
that
Right.
it takes, this is just an example, but if it takes 20 times of a repetition for a negative thought to become permanent, then it might take 100 of a reverse statement, to repeat over and over to undo that.
Right.
Like it takes many more to undo the pre-programming that we have. Well, the programming that we're all currently under the influence of right now. Right? All of us have, I think, some level of that.
We all do.
How aware we are of it and what work we've done to reduce it is going to differ among all of us, But most people have this, and so for those people that might be listening, and is like, if you want to undo one negative thought that keeps repeating in your head like that, you have to come with the opposite statement in a positive way, and you have to repeat that hundreds of times. You know what I mean? And start to feel it and believe it and know it, and then you can undo and be free from that. And that's one thing. Then move on to the next one, right?
Right. And so that is about the reframe. So think about it. As a teenager, we have these programs that are coming in our head, right? So if we can shift that negative statement when we're young, right? I mean, for these young people, and we can help them in a sense of, well, life is so hard. And I'm not saying it isn't, but we can, also say life is easy. Because what we think is what we attract. What we feel is what we attract, right? So if you're going to keep thinking life is hard, you're going to keep getting scenarios and situations that tell you life is hard. And then you're going to say, well, I'm right. Life is hard. I keep attracting it. Well, because that's what you keep thinking, and that's what you're feeling in your body. Because what you're feeling is what you're attracting. So, somebody explained something to me, and they were really good at reframing. And I go, oh, well, I have a list of 18 things I would like to help help me reframe, because I'm looking at this and I'm having a hard time in the sense of seeing the positive in it, and I just see the negative. But she said to me, because I'm always late for everything, and I'm really trying to be better at that. And I said to him, why I'm sorry I'm late. And she goes, well, here's one reframe right here. Thank you for waiting for me.
Yeah.
I went, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So she had told me another one, too, about rejection. So she said, this is how you handle the rejection. And I went, okay, well, how do you handle that? You say, thank you to the person. Thank you for knowing yourself. Thank you that you know what's right and best for you, so that you can give me the information that I need so that I can make a decision on what's best, right and best for me, and open the space for somebody who is a right match for me. And thank you for taking care of you so that I can go take care of me.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Because there's so different ways of looking at it. We can look at it in the negative, right? But we can reframe it into the positive. So in the negative, we can sit there and be the victim, right? And certainly feel the feelings. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have feelings. I'm not saying it's, we shouldn't, have the feelings of sadness and hurt and pain, but we have a choice to sit there, and how long do we want to sit in it, and turn around and flip it into the victor role and say, well, you know what? Thank you for knowing yourself. Thank you for knowing what's right for you, and gather and giving me that information so that I can do and make the right decision for me and do what's right for me, so I can open the space for somebody who's who's better a fit for me, right?
Yeah.
You taking care of you helps me take care of me.
Yeah.
So we don't know these things as teenagers, nor yet alone as adults.
I was just going to say. I was just going to say. And sometimes, and I have been able, I think for me it's often been how closely attached at the heart was I to a rejection situation.
Oh yeah.
And so if it's, on a level that's like more, I'm in, like even my boss, like my last boss, like, we, worked very closely together and blah, 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 and we often had drinks after, went for beers when we could and this and that. And, we had a team and we went out as a team and, this kind of thing. And so after I left work and all that kind of stuff, as I started to withdraw more from, and then my car was a problem, so I could never really go across town because he's way across town. And so I was just like, I can't, go there. My car isn't, working. And I always want to go somewhere where I'm in control of when it's time to leave. I'm not waiting on someone else to give me the ride, you know what I mean? Because then I feel like I'm a hostage in the situation. And so I gradually, we had less communication and whatnot. And the last time I called, just to, whenever I'm about ready to throw a whole batch of resumes out into the system, you know what I mean? I want to double check that that my reference information hasn't changed for any of my people and all that kind of thing. And so I email them all. I email the three of them. And he writes me back and says, he says something like, sorry, you haven't really been around for a long time, and I sent you an email to go out, to go to the bar, he has a band, you know what I mean? And like, so by then he knew already a million times, I can't go way to the south side, blah, 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 blah. And so anyhow, he actually writes, that's not how friendship works, and, basically he was saying, he said, oh, you only write to me when you need me as a reference or something, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now, for me, I didn't ever look at him, using him as a reference because he's a friend. I looked at him as a reference because he was my past boss.
Right.
And he's positioned uniquely to actually speak to my capabilities, right? And so it bothered me a bit, but I wrote right back, instead of this big long blah, blah, and blah, blah, and you knew that blah, and of course, why would I keep, and I can't go there all the way to the south side, and I can't go all the way to, I just said, okay, thank you, that's it, send, okay, thank you, send, done, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I took them off my reference list, you know what I mean? And it probably 10 years earlier, if that thing would have happened, I'd have been, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would have been so roasted. I would have been chewing on that for weeks or months. You know what I mean? And stewing about it and angry and probably continuing to contact the person, and blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, oh, okay, see ya. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to get into it's like, when I was younger, the hardest lesson I had to learn was hanging on to people that didn't want to be around anymore. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I know that one.
And, yeah.
I know that one.
You can't. And that's what I found out eventually, as we all do. And we find out in our own timing. And gratefully, I found out fairly young. You know what I mean? I did it fairly quickly. But I had the worst time before, almost like you can't quit me, I quit you. You know what I mean? But that's really where I'm at now in my life is if somebody has come to the conclusion that they don't want to do this for me or that for me, which is of the simplest thing, you know what I mean? What you're going to do is get a phone call from someone and you're going to speak truth, answer their questions truthfully as to how was Chris as an employee. You know what I mean? So is that like a thing that is a favor you do for someone, or is that just a thing that you do as a human being in the world? You know what I mean? And but I'm just like I'm not going to be so desperate to hang on to anybody, period. Anybody. Nobody.
Yep.
And so if like someone decides that it's exactly how you just said, although I'd never thought of it in that way, which is to say, well, thank you for knowing yourself well enough to free me of you, basically. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I like that. I'm gonna probably sit and think about that one quite a bit. I like that one quite a lot, actually.
She's very good at it. And I said to her, I have a list of 18 that can I send it to you by text?
No
She goes,
kidding. No
sure. And
kidding.
I said, you're so insightful.
Yeah.
So, it was really helpful. She's an attorney, by the way.
Oh, interesting.
She's
That's very
very,
good. That's
she's
very
very
good.
enlightened. So,
So,
yeah.
listen. Okay, I think that we have a 210, which might be Texas Pearl. I think that person is probably there for a reading, and so why don't we take a song break,
Okay.
and then we'll come back and we'll pick up any calls that people have there. Corrine, I don't know if you were just listening or if you wanted to talk to Hillary. If you could let us know in the chat, that would be great. And so I'll find a song, and if you need to go get yourself a beverage or anything like that, you can feel free to go do that. And I will find a song to play for everybody, and then we'll come back. We'll take whatever calls are there, and continue our lovely discussion. What was the what song was it? I wish I could find it. I wanted to hear it, actually. I can't remember even. Okay, I'm going to do this one. I might do two shorter ones. I love the harmony in this one.
I knew you were the one. You had to be the one. Lately, I've been feeling so high 'cause I'm in love with you. Your smile makes me weak in the knees, Where'd you come from? Tell me please, tell me please, tell me please. So amazing, did I feel the first time I kissed you goodnight? So amazing, I can't conceal the love when I look in your eyes. I'll stand by you for all time and help you through when you're down. When you're down, when you're down. It's time to see I'm the one. Just take the ride and hold on. Hold on. So amazing, so amazing. Lady, I hope I make sense to you tonight. I hope I'm in your arms. It's hard for me to say the words that I feel. You set my soul at ease. You make me real. Your smile makes me weak in the knees, Where'd you come from? Tell me please, tell me please, tell me please. So amazing, did I feel the first time I kissed you goodnight? So amazing, I can't conceal the love when I look in your eyes. I'll stand by you for all time and help you through when you're down. When you're down, when you're down. It's time you see I'm the one. Just take the ride and hold on. So amazing. So amazing, girl.
Asian black Latina at this moment in time. You ain't that I'm hating, I'm just feeling the vibe. But if you're hot and sexy, you're cool to me. I can really care less what I look like.
I'll be your lover and your friend. Demonstrate your conversations, baby. I'm so engaged. When I'm between the streets, temperature, I'm ready. I feel you permanently, girl. So amazing. So amazing. Did I feel amazing? I kissed you goodnight. So amazing. I can't conceal the love when I look in your eyes. I'll stand by you for all time and help you through when you're down. When you're down, when you're down. It's time you see I'm the one. Just take the ride and hold on. So amazing.
That was Emmanuel Dogger. I do have permission to play his music. He sent me the CD and everything. He has some great songs on that one. This I won't play the whole song, but you might remember this one better, Corinne. Here, let's get to that. I don't know. Anyway, and he does his music in 528 hertz, which is a love frequency. He forced me to say the L word with that. I hate that, but anyhow, so he's got some good stuff, and he's a guy who does a lot of these spiritual type of talk shows on radio and things like that as well. So check him out, you guys, if you want to. He has his whole CD available for download, and if I'm not mistaken, his is on pay what you want to. I could be wrong about that, but anyway, check it out. Emmanuel Dogger, Dagher. Okay, so we're back. Now, did Corinne, are you just listening, or did you want to talk? Yeah, get a reading. Okay, gotcha. And I'm going to double check with this 210. Hello, 210. Who's that? Area code 210. 210. Texas, unmute yourself. Do something. Okay, they're not really there. They're there, but they're really not there. So I will mute them. So we'll get you through to Corinne then, okay? Hillary. Oh wait, Hillary's muted. Sorry, Hillary. I'm sorry.
I
forgot.
Okay.
I forgot I muted you for the. Okay, so we'll go get Corrine on now then. Hello, Corrine. How you doing? Corrine?
Okay, I think my
Okay,
sound's
good.
going to be bad because, yes, I can hear you. You can't hear me probably.
Yes!
Hi.
Okay.
Oh, she's on a delay.
Hi.
So she's on
Hi,
a delay.
Hillary.
So
How are
she's
you?
on a delay. So she's gonna hear us. She's gonna hear you way after you finish talking. Okay, Hillary?
Okay.
Okay. So, too bad because I wanted to tell you a funny story. But anyways, so, Hillary, I'm just wondering, like, if you can, like, tell me what might be happening in the next couple weeks for me.
In regards to anything in particular in the next couple of weeks, personal, professional, love, anything specific?
I guess love. Love.
Uh-oh.
Okay, let's go there. And I don't feel that there's I don't feel I don't feel that there is a specific significant other in your life right now. Is that correct?
She has a delay,
Yeah.
so she'll answer.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Show me if Corinne, if there's a relationship coming in for Corinne. Show me.
Corrine.
I always say her name wrong.
Don't say it wrong. Do not say her name wrong.
I know. She does correct
She'll
me.
never.
I know. She'll. I don't know why. So say it, Corinne. Say it, Corinne, right?
Corrine.
God,
Corinne.
I always have such a hard time with her name. I'm so sorry. Corinne. I want to spell her name so differently, but it's her spelling. So it's just because I need to phonetically see it in my mind.
Well, here, let me show you something that helps some people. So you have Corinne, which to me is Corine, Corinne.
Yeah.
And then you have Corrine, Corrine, Corrine. So if you see two R's, then it's like Corrine. And if it's like two N's, then it's Corinne. So there you go.
There we go. That's helpful. Thank you. Corinne. There we go. Got it.
Oh,
okay,
Corrine. You keep saying Corinne.
I'm so dyslexic. I really am. No, I really am dyslexic.
Let's tell her to call you Corinne and see if she calls you Corinne then.
All right. Corinne.
Corinne.
Corinne. Okay, the color green.
No!
Corinne. All right. So I know Dan's like, oh my God. So let's just see what's going on in her love life. Show me if there's any love coming for Miss C. I'm just going to call her Miss C at this point.
Call her the purple plate lady.
What?
Call her the purple plate lady.
Yes, I remember the purple plate. Yes. It's awesome, the purple plate. It'd be a great Christmas gift, by the way, for everyone.
It would.
Yes, it would. Absolutely. Okay.
And you get a purple plate, and you get a purple plate, and you get a purple plate. Here you go.
Okay. So right now, your love card is upside down in the seventh position, which is you and your attitude and where you're at. Right now, you're really working on becoming your best self, which you're doing actually a fabulous job. And the Empress card is coming into a place of creativity and feeling better about yourself and loving yourself, which is fabulous. So right now I'm not quite sure what's going on with work, but I feel like you're restructuring work. I know we're talking about love, but right now all this has to happen, and then love's going to come in. So you're on the right trajectory, you're on the right path, but these things need to come into play because it's the foundation. Does that make sense? Because if your love was to come in right now, you wouldn't be able to get the other stuff done. Now, I'm not saying that you can't, And I'm not saying that she wouldn't be able to balance it, but the newness of love sometimes kind of takes us away from other things that we do.
Yeah, it does.
And that's what they're saying to me, because this new relationship that's going to come in is going to be pretty dynamite. Going to be feeling good, let me tell you. So, oxytocin, they say, I think, in women goes off in 1 in 4 women, whereas the men, I guess it's 1 in 12. I don't know for sure if that stat is correct, but, kind of thing. And so this is definitely going to be the feeling of love. So the gentleman is here as the Emperor card, and then there's the 9 of Cups. So there's going to be some sparks flying. Time is subjective. It can go forward. It can go backwards. It can blow up altogether. So let's see when this gentleman's coming in. You're looking for the divine timing is what you're really looking for. And remember what we talked about earlier today and the show is it's really about how you feel about yourself, because what you feel is what you're energetically, kind of like doing a sonic boom out to the universe, and then it's going to boomerang back to you. So it's important to feel good. We're not going to feel good every single moment, right? But the Empress card's here, and that's good. So when is this gentleman? Is this a gentleman coming in for her? So this gentleman coming in 9 weeks. I love the way you preface it, too, saying, so when's love coming? Let me look at love for the next couple of weeks, like you're telling the universe when love is supposed to come in for you. And so...
she wants Christmas presents from the new guy.
Yeah, I understand that. Well, pretty much. Okay. All right. So it's Corrine, right? I said it right.
Yes.
Hey, yes, I got it. See, it just takes me a little bit. I can do it. Just like the little train. I know I can. So this gentleman. Okay, I'm going to tell you, it's a number 9. It's either 9 days, it can be 9 hours, 9 days, 9 weeks. The bigger hit I'm getting right now is 9 months. No, you're not going to be thrilled with that, but I want you to understand that if you sit in the anger or the fear about 9 months, you are going to make it go slower. If you sit in gratitude and faith and really continue concentrating on you and you're really happy with yourself, this could shift to 9 weeks. Are you there?
She's on a delay, remember?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. And this is going to be a substantial relationship. This isn't just, let me date him a couple times and then thank you very much. This relationship is, he's going to want to have a life with you. There's going to be a future here.
That means he's getting out of the psychiatric hospital in 9 weeks.
My goodness. I did not say that. That was Chris.
Of course that's not.
So
of course
Holly, can you tell me, Holly, is it...
Say that again?
She called you Holly.
I know she did. It's okay.
Can you tell me what this guy...
I chopped up her name. She has every right to call me Holly.
Can you tell me? So can you tell me what this guy is like?
Yes, this gentleman is very intelligent. I think that he likes to be dressed sharply. He takes good care of himself. He's a very good-looking man. I do feel that he's kind of like between 5'10" and 6 feet tall. I want to say that he has dark hair, dark eyes. I think he's white or Caucasian. I'm not sure, but that's what they're showing me. And what I see is that this gentleman also wears jeans, and he's a little bit, I don't want to use the word uptight. I shouldn't say this. So in the West Coast and East Coast, there's a big difference between West Coast and East Coast. West Coast is very much laid back, kind of thing. And you think of West Coast and you think people in shorts and flip flops and Bermuda shorts and Bermuda shirts and just like the surfer boy and just casual and relaxed. And when you think of East Coast, now not every person on the East Coast will think this. It's more proper, a little bit more reserved. Does that make sense? And that sort of thing. So this gentleman is highly intelligent, very creative. I mean, like really smart, really smart. So you guys will have an intellectual connection, no doubt. He's very interesting though. People don't judge him. We all say don't judge a book by the cover. People are going to think that he's the very quiet guy, the very innocent guy, the guy who's just super sweet and the guy next door, but he is going to have a side to him that is, you're going to say, oh my goodness, and you're going to like it. And he's a little bit of a bad boy. And a lot of people don't see it. He's a little bit arrogant and a little bit cocky. That's what I see.
Great.
Okay. So, I mean, so, all right. So you say 9 something. You don't know if it's 9 days, 9 weeks, or 9 months, or whatever.
It's not 9 years. I can tell you that right. It's not 9 years. But that's just how my time works. Everyone's different on how they do their time. Just happens to be the way my time comes in. And again, time can go faster, it can go slower, right? So if you're dissatisfied, if you're in constant dissatisfaction in relationships not coming, which I've been there, trust me, then what we do is that we get continual dissatisfaction that a relationship's not coming, and so I don't want to say cementing, but we're playing that tape, like Chris said, we're playing that loop. And then what we tell the universe, oh, well, see, I knew a relationship wasn't coming because what we're thinking is what we're attracting. So what I'm going to suggest to you is write a letter. I call it an intention statement to the universe or to God. And it's thank you, God letter or thank you, universe letter. And I would write, thank you, God or universe, that I now, N-O-W, have a boyfriend. Now that I now have a boyfriend. Now, if you want to get married and you want to have a husband, say husband. If you want to be paper married, say where I'm legally married. If you want to be spiritually married, say my husband who we're spiritually married. So it's you, again, being the master of your universe and putting out to the universe what it is that you really want. Tell the universe what you want, right? Thank you, God.
And whatever you settle on, insert the word millionaire before the other adjectives. Millionaire.
No, you can do this. You absolutely can do this, and and there's nothing wrong with knowing that and wanting it, right? So thank you, God, that I now have this wonderful husband who I'm legally married to and who's a millionaire. Absolutely, put it out there, no doubt. When women sit down with me and I say, please be clear about your requirements and what you need and want. I had one lady, we were working on everything, and she put everything out there that she wanted, but she didn't put an income requirement and she didn't put an age requirement. She didn't think anything of it. She assumed the person would be the same age as her. Nope. No. And assumed that they would have the same income as her. Nope. No. And those are the two things that she got everything she asked for on that list. And those are the only two things that didn't match. Because see, here's the thing. We don't want to get too specific. So people will say, I want a guy or a girl, whatever, and I want a certain size, right? So some people say, I want a 6'2" guy with blonde hair and blue eyes and da-da-da. And I'm like, guys, you don't need to be that specific. And guys will say this about a girl. I've known guys who will say, I want a girl who's 5'2" and weighing 90 pounds or whatever it is, that kind of thing. Now, a body style, if it is important to you, if this is a deal breaker where some people are like, I'm not dating someone shorter than me, or I only want to date tall girls or whatever it is, tall guys, if that's a deal breaker, put it on there. So if you have a certain, because what happens is, trust me, they'll bring you what you asked for in the order. But if you did not say it's a must-have, you may get something completely opposite, and then you're like, yeah, the guy's 20 years younger than me. I can't do that. Or, he's, I don't know. There's something in there that you can't wrap your head around, right? So it is important to have a specific. So I say, ladies, seriously, if you have a certain income that you want this person to make, you need to put that on there. Put all these things that you want this person to be. But at the same time, after you write the list, you look at the list and say, do I also have these qualities that I'm asking of this gentleman or this woman? Do I have all these qualities? Am I nice? Am I, whatever you say, I want them to be kind.
Yeah, will I treat them, right, will I treat them with that same, yeah.
Well, absolutely. And if I'm asking them to have transparency and honesty without, and for me to, because I think everyone on this planet, this is just my feeling, everyone on this planet is looking to have that love connection, to be accepted, to be loved. How should I put it? To be able to show ourselves our good and our bad and be fully accepted with our good and our bad, and in a place of loving, unconditional love and non-judgment. And then wanting someone to help us be our best selves. I think that's what most of the people want. Not everyone, but a lot of people.
Yeah, well, I did do this list before. I mean, I know you're preaching to the choir here, because I know exactly what you're talking about. And I did do it, and it came to pass.
It did happen?
Unfortunately, it came to pass, and then it passed on.
Okay, so the gentleman showed up and now he left, right?
But yeah, I mean, it was
okay. So you forgot, right? And you probably forgot to say permanent. So add the word permanent for the rest of my life relationship. Right. You know what I mean?
Right, and here's the other thing too. Sometimes what happens is somebody will come in as a stepping, and I don't want to use the word stepping stone. So somebody will come in, and what happens is there's 6 reasons why we don't get what we want, right? I need to put this in a blog post. I haven't done a blog in a while, but maybe I'll start doing it again. So let me say, because I had to search why I wasn't getting what I wanted, and this is why I had to. So this is why I came up with this. Well, in my search of talking to my people, my teacher, my mentors, all that stuff. Right. 1, God wants better for you than you want for yourself. Number 2, timing. Number 3, blocks or limiting beliefs. Number 4, God gives you what you need, not what you want. And that's what I mean about sometimes some people will come in and you will learn what you need to learn from them before you get to the relationship, before you get to the one. Because what happens is if you get the relationship, the one, and you get what you want, and you don't have all the skills that you need underneath that, then you will not have a strong foundation when you get what you want, and what you want will blow up. And you won't get to keep it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah.
So what happens is that let's say this is goal setting. So let's say we have this big goal and we want to jump from A and we're jumping to B, and jumping to B is like 10 stories high, right? So what happens is when we ask the universe and we put a prayer out there and we want to make this big jump, the universe will usually ask us, say, okay, we're going to give it to you, but everything from 0 to 10 stories high, whatever needs to be rectified on each level, whatever needs to be healed, or let's think it's like a building. It needs, you got to wreck. And you're like, the elevator needs to be fixed, and the window needs to be fixed, and the floors need to be done, and you've got all these things that you have to do on each level to fix to get to level 10. Same thing energetically when you ask to go from 0 or go from a certain level and jump 10 levels high to get to the person or the job, the big job. We're talking the big job, not just a job, or the big house, right? These big goals that you want to have. Set these goals. It's really important to set them, but understand that you have to have a baby steps getting there, because what's going to happen is, I don't want to call it, I call it a shit show basically, but really it is all your stuff is going to come up all at the same time, and then everything blows up. And then people are like, this stuff doesn't work. No, it works. You asked for a big jump, and now they're presenting everything to you that needs to be healed, cleared and cleaned, healed, to get out of the way to get to level 10 at once. So that's why you do the big goal, and then you do the baby goals. And then you set another baby goal, and another baby goal, and another baby goal. Does that make sense? To get to the big goal. So sometimes when people come in, whether it's a guy or a girl, whoever you're dating or whatever it may be, we get attached because we get attached to the outcome, right? Because there's a difference between spiritual love and ego love. When we get attached to the outcome, we're thinking, oh, this is the person, this is the one, and then we're disappointed because it's not. But we have to know that God wants better for ourselves. God wants better for us than we want for ourselves. So we have to know that we're worthy to have love, and love will come again. The hard part is having the faith that person's going to show up. So again, you do the big step, then do the baby steps, right? And still hold on to the big step that it's here. But so the difference between spiritual love and ego love. So what happens is when we're in love, ego love is that we don't show our true selves completely. We're trying to control the outcome and the person. The only person that we can control is ourselves. So when we don't show our complete selves, then we're like, we want this person to stay with us. We want this to happen. So then we don't show our true and authentic selves. So let's think of a candle. So we have a candle lit. And so when you're trying to control the candle, what happens? All of a sudden you put your hand over the candle, or you put a lid over it, the oxygen goes out and the flame goes out. Right? So I'm the same way as Chris, by the way. I usually show up by myself in a car. I don't usually ride share all the time, which is probably better for the planet and, our footprint, green footprint. But I also feel trapped. I have to know that I can go. I have the same situation, and I get it. I don't want to be sitting here waiting for someone. It's not, for 3 hours or something if I have something I have to go do, kind of thing. And so sometimes I'll carpool, but not always. There's definitely times that I will not. But the thing is that, so nobody likes to be controlled. I don't think anybody likes to be told what to do. I mean, maybe some people do. I can't, I can say most people don't. So when we're in the ego love and we're trying to control somebody else, and what happens is we get in these relationships, we love this person, and we have connections, and they love us, but we don't want the same things. Or we're trying to make them do what we want them to do, and they're trying to make us do what we want to do. And then we get in the power play. And then we love each other, but we can't be with each other, and that's the rough thing. Or we love each other, and we don't want the same thing. So the best that you know yourself, the depth of connection that you have with yourself determines the depth that you have with other people. And as teenagers, some teenagers really know themselves, but, some don't. And even at 50 years old, I'm still learning stuff about myself that I don't know. So, again, it's really important to know yourself, because the more that we accept ourselves, the more that we're going to attract somebody who also will accept us, right? I didn't accept myself as a psychic. So what did I do? I attracted people who mocked me for being a psychic,
right? Who
ridiculed me and were really cruel to me, getting the Bible out, screaming at me that I'm the devil and, that I'm wrong and I'm this and I'm that, because in my mind, being Catholic and was raised, it's bad to be a psychic. So what did I attract? I attracted those kind of people. And I struggled a long time with this gift and having it, and what should I do with it, and all this other stuff. And then I said, well, God wouldn't give me this gift, and I'm not supposed to have it. Well, I'm supposed to do good with it. So your thoughts is what you attract. So when you start coming in place of valuing yourself and seeing your uniqueness and seeing your inner beauty and seeing your outer beauty, this is for everyone, male or female, and seeing our worthiness and seeing, and appreciating ourselves and accepting ourselves and valuing ourselves. When we're in that space, guess what? It will shift, and we will start attracting those people who will match that energy. So again, God gives us what we need in the moment sometimes, and we get pissed because we think we know better than God and we want to micromanage him, and instead of giving us what we want. Now, on the spiritual love, so we know about ego love, right? We try to control someone, we're killing the flame, so to speak, and then all of a sudden we're so fearful they're going to leave, we just created it because we didn't show our true authentic selves. We weren't present in the moment, right? And we're trying to control the situation, so we killed it. So what happens is in spiritual love, you allow yourself, you connect in the moment, you're present in the moment, and then you engage with that person, right? And you're being present, you're interacting, and you're true and authentic to who you truly are and showing yourselves and being vulnerable in that experience for however long that experience is going to be, and you don't get attached to the outcome. Because in ego love, we get attached to the outcome, right? And so we're so worried about the outcome, we're not engaged and present in the moment. So in the spiritual life, you're engaged and present in the moment. I'm not saying this stuff is easy, but you're engaged and present in the moment, and you're allowing yourself to have that open connection, which is, wow, to have that connection, let me tell you. And open that, that vulnerability, so to speak, and have that connection for however long it is without being attached to the outcome. That's spiritual love, which is something I'm working on. We all have to work on certain things, right? What we choose.
Yeah, believe me, Hillary, I know all. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, and I have lived that, and I do it. Believe me. I mean, I know you're like just trying to help me here, but I absolutely do live that way. You know what I mean?
Believe you. And there's other people that are listening too that may not know this information. So, yeah, and I'm glad that just keep doing it. And so that's number 4. Did I say number 4? That, getting what you need instead of what you want. Because trust me, I struggled with that. We all, and I have no idea, where you're at, but I'm glad that you see that and you know it and you're practicing it. I think that's wonderful. And then sometimes not God only gives you what you need instead of what you want before what you want, but God sometimes also gives you where you're at. These are all things that I struggled with. This is why I came up with a list of 6, every single one of them. And so then what happens is then I'm like, okay, well, it's not that I can't have a relationship, because some people say you're not ready to have a relationship. Oh, really? Well, guess what? This person would like to have a relationship with me, and this person. But then again, I'm not happy with what's being presented to me. Well, that's because like attracts like. It's like a battery, magnet. What you're putting out there is what you're getting back. And if you're not liking what you're getting back, then you got to look inside with yourself and say, what do I want to shift and change? Because like attracts like. And so then the last thing, because that's number 5, is number 6 is some people will say this stuff isn't working because I'm just not getting what I want, right? I get it. I was the same way. I said the same thing. Well, this is an Esther Hicks thing. We get what we don't want to help us get clarity of what we do want. So if something's showing up that we don't want, we look and say, what is it do we want? And then we reframe it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have people who say, I really want that. Guess what? And then something shows up, and then they go, no, I don't know if I really do want that. Or something else shows up, and they're like, yeah, I don't want that at all. And so they either try it, and they say, yeah, I definitely don't want that. Or they say, nope, totally don't want it at all. Not even going to consider it, not even going there, and then it helps them get clarity more of what they do want, so they go back and rewrite their list, or they erase it and put something else new on it, or something that they forgot to put on the list. And then what you do is, once you have all those qualities that you want in this person that you would like to date, then you look at, do I also have these qualities to offer that person too? And then what you do is, then you can say in gratitude or thank you, because you always want to be in gratitude, and you can sign it, and then you say it at night, a half an hour to 60 minutes before you go to bed, because we're in alpha state, just like she was talking about megahertz, right? 552, I think, or what did you say, 528 is love or something like that. So I don't know what the megahertz is for alpha state, but we have delta state when we're sleeping. We have theta state, which is where you're in meditative state, like you're sitting there and you're meditating for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, wherever long it is, and all of a sudden you're just like, when I meditate and I'm like, I didn't go to sleep, but I don't know where the heck I went. That's theta state, right? Yeah. So you've gone into that conscious, you've gone into that I don't remember what state it's called, but that's the theta state where you go and meditate. Then you have the alpha state, and alpha state's what I'm in right now. So this is where the athletes are at. Where all of a sudden they're in the zone and they're doing 70 points in a basketball game and they don't know how they did it, and they're saying, what happened? And we can do this at work too. We're totally in the zone at work, right? And so when I'm reading in reading space, and when you guys also do the same thing, when you guys are connecting, right, to source, and you're doing your grounding and that sort of thing, boom, you're right into alpha state. So you're into alpha state a half an hour to 60 minutes before you guys go to bed. I didn't know that. Spirit just told me to have you guys read this intention statement before you go to sleep, because I knew my own personal experiences that spirits would show up right before I went to bed. Always. They just did. I don't know why they did. And I just thought, well, the veil's really thin there. So I knew that that's how you drop your stuff into your subconscious mind. I just intuitively knew it. Well, I went and took this workshop, and he was teaching us the science of this, science of some of this stuff. And so I'm like, okay, that's great. So that's what he says. Do it a half an hour before you go to bed. So then that way you can drop it into your subconscious mind. And then you can also, when you wake up, a half an hour to an hour before after you wake up, that's also an alpha state where you can drop the stuff in your subconscious mind. So you can say it at night. You can say it in the morning if you want to. And that's going to help you draw it to you quicker. Because you're going to say it. The two things that jump us in our time faster is faith and gratitude, and the two things that hold us back are fear and anger. So you have to, so if you're in that happy state, right, and and here's the key, here's the biggest key. You have to know like you know, like you know. Like, what did she say? There's one lady that she used to say, you have to know like you know, like you know, and I can't remember her name. But anyhow, you have to know that it's true and it's really and it's happening, and like it's happening, and like it's happened now. You have to pretend like it's already happening. So it's kind of like, if we leave it in the future, it stays in the future. If you bring it to the now, and then you feel it through your whole entire body, and that's the elixir, you got to feel it through your body and all the cells, right? And you got to feel it because that's the energetic boom that goes off to the universe that will bring it back. Then I want you to visualize what this guy looks like. Okay? Visualize it. See yourself walking hand in hand with him. See all the fun things that you want to go do with him. And for guys or who want to, go on a date with the girls, and for people who want to have a significant other, and, a guy dating a guy or girl's dating a girl, it doesn't really matter. Whoever your significant other is that you want to date, or whatever gender you want to date, you guys can do this too. Everyone can do it. And just imagine that person that you want to go out and hang out with and be with. And then you're going to start creating it. And then all of a sudden, this person may show up. Well, not may. This person will show up. You got to believe that this person is going to show up. But here's the kicker. So what happens is we get attached to the outcome of how we think this person is going to show up. Yeah. So when people say, what does he look like, or this or that, I usually don't get that much information that I got for you today. Sometimes I'll say, I have no idea. I just know this person's coming. How tall is he? What does he look like? I don't usually get it, but I got it for you today. I don't know why. I just did. And the reason a lot of times the universe won't give me that information is, and maybe they're giving it to me for you because you aren't attached to the outcome and you're not going to be, which is fabulous. But what happens is that, okay, God, I asked for all this stuff, like we've put an order out to the universe like our Christmas gift, right? I want a red box square with a white bow. And I say to God, so where's my man? I'm looking for my man. And he said, I delivered him. And I'm like, no, you did not. And he said, well, did you not get my box? And I'm like, yes. What box are you talking about? And he goes, well, the green oval box with a black bow. And I'm like, yeah, I got it. Well, did you open it? No. And well, why not? Because I was waiting for my red box square with a white bow. And he's like, but I delivered it, and the green box. So where is it? Go get it. And I'm like, well, I can't. I gave it to my neighbor.
Right.
Well, sweetheart, you just gave your man away, or what you just asked for, whatever it is. Yeah. You should have opened it and seen what's inside.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I hear ya. So, can you hear me, Hillary?
Yes.
Okay. I want to ask you something, if you don't mind. I feel like something's going on with John.
Okay. And John, again, remind me, John is...
No, she's
some guy that's
you,
important.
Wait. She's telling you now
I'm giving you...
Oh, she's getting stuff for me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know a guy named John. Is there somebody named John coming in for me?
No, I just thought that there was a John in your life, and that you were. Okay. There's some guy. I thought his name was John. Maybe it's not John, but a guy from your past that you were deeply in love with, and I don't know why I thought his name was John. I guess it's not John, but something about that happening, like coming back in for some reason. I don't know. Does it make any sense?
It makes sense. It does. It does make sense. Thank you. Got it. Appreciate that.
But does he have Hillary? Does he have a daughter?
Yes.
Okay, something's going on with the daughter.
Okay.
I don't know. There's something funky going on with the daughter. I don't know what it is. But anyway, I just wanted to say that to you because I thought of that when I first saw you, that you were on tonight. I was like, oh, there's something here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I appreciate it.
I don't know what that is. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with her. But anyways, all right. So thank you for the reading very much.
You're welcome, and I'm excited to hear about it when he shows up.
Me too.
Okay, good.
I'll mute myself, Chris.
Okay. So we had not too bad considering that there's a delay issue with Corrine's connection to us for some strange. One theory I could have is that Corrine must be vibrating so fast that she's a little bit ahead of us there, or something like she's just a little bit she's still with us, but she's a little bit just we're on the, let's say that our auras maybe touch barely or something like this, she's ahead of us there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so she's ahead, or she's behind, whatever it is, she's vibrating slightly differently than us, you know? And that's a theory. That's just a theory of why Corrine is the only person, you know what I mean? I'm going, okay, if it's not just a simple telephone thing or something, maybe we've been looking at this like a technology, but logic, I have to bring logic, you see? And I cannot make logic out of, I'm calling in on Skype all the way from Canada. You know what I mean? And so I don't have the same delay problem that Corrine has, and she'll get that even if she goes on the browser or if she calls in on Skype. And I have other people that are calling in both ways using similar browsers, same browser, there's nothing here different, you know? And so I go maybe it's not just maybe there's an energetic, slight energetic distance or something, and we have to grab on and keep her at least a little bit in our perimeter here. You know what I mean? And so if you were in Canada, you would be at 420. But you see, but you understand what I mean, right? We always look for what's the real, but it's quite possible that Corrine's difference in, we have a time gap. It's a time gap.
Yeah.
With Corrine. And so I don't know what other way to explain that. It doesn't have to just be a telephone issue. It could be she's just vibrating a little bit quicker or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So there you go. She lives in the past. Okay, so she's vibrating behind us. That's what that buzzing in the back of my ear is. I thought it was like a mosquito or something. It's Corrine. And so anyway, good. So now 210. If you're there now, not suddenly, 210. Push 1 right now and say hello. 210. Push 1 on your phone and say hello. They either fell asleep or I don't think they were calling for a reading. Maybe they called in and they don't even remember that they called in, and they put the phone down somewhere in the freezer or something like that, and they don't realize that they're dialed into Curious Times, what they are. 210, area code 210. Do something. If you can hear me, 210, push 11. They aren't cooperating. I don't think there's anybody really there. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Anyway. Okay, well, then I think that's it for the callers. We have a few minutes we can wrap up, and we get you back one more time before the year end, I guess, eh?
Yes.
We get you in early December.
You have
And
me the 2nd of December on Sunday.
yeah, that's correct.
There's 5 Sundays in that month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, there is.
And Mondays. 5 Mondays and Sundays.
Never ever on a Monday, Sunday. Okay. So December the 2nd, we'll see you one more time before the year end, and so we can get all of our festivities out of our system then. In the meanwhile, you would be by then traveled to your destination.
Yes,
And
I'm gonna go the week of Thanksgiving in the States. Thanksgiving, I hope I'm correct on this, is because I'm not looking at a calendar that actually says Thanksgiving, and I think our Thanksgiving is always the 4th Thursday of the month.
yeah, it'd be right near. So
So
the
it's
last,
the 22nd. Well, it's the 22nd because we have 5 Thursdays this month, so it's the 22nd.
So it's going to be the 29th. Oh, it's going to be the 22nd.
Yeah, it's going to be the 22nd.
Okay. Wow.
I believe. So yeah, I'll be probably. It's 2 days. It's really 18 hours. Well, it's 18 hours, but I'll make it 24 hours. So I'll just do 2 days of traveling each way. It'll be fun, in the sense of having.
Well, you're not going to stay all the way through to Christmas now?
No, they're flying out. My sister was so kind, as a gift, bought them tickets to fly out to see me for Christmas and to be here with the family. So we're really excited
that's
about
nice.
that.
Oh, that's really good.
The family's here in California, so that's
very
we
nice.
get to see their
Very
cousins
nice.
and everything. So that's why we're doing the white elephant gift.
Good.
So yes, so they're going to come out here for Christmas. It'll be great.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, we will see you in December. You guys can find out everything you want to find out about Hillary by going to www.askhillaryblack.com or find her on Facebook, Ask Hillary Black, and just Google Hillary Black, for crying out loud, and you'll find a plethora of ways in which you can get in touch with Hillary. And so that was a nice conversation today. It was enjoyable. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you. I had no idea what I was going to talk about today, so that just went really well.
Just goes on, sometimes there's just a natural, we're just two people, 2 straws that got put into a Coca-Cola, and we're just like, we opened it up, and that's what we were guided, I guess, to. That's where our conversation was guided,
Yeah.
And so that's good. It went where it needed to go. And who knows, it could be even the person who needed to hear whatever it was isn't even heard it yet, and they'll hear it tomorrow, Could be very possible that would happen. Now, who just punched in at... no, I think we're good. I think something keeps jumping, but it's not a caller. So okay, well, let's get the getting's good then, Hillary, and have a safe trip. Have a safe trip over there.
Thank you. You guys have a great holiday as well. And I guess I'll talk to you guys in December 2nd.
Awesome. Perfect. Okay.
All
right, everybody, we're out of here. We're back tomorrow night with Diana Monroe. And so, peace out. Thanks for coming. Take care, guys.